Hey, it's John Limo Guy, and I'm here on Broadway, just passing the famous Ed Sullivan Theater, and I'm crossing West 53rd Street now. I'm headed south, and I'm headed into Times Square. Just wanted to give Archie Luxury a sort of preview of what it's like to drive through Times Square in the Limo Guy's limo. This is actually, I think, a good time of day to film this because it's not quite night yet, but it's not, the light is the ambient light is very soft because the sun has actually sort of gone down, gone beneath the backs of the buildings. So here we are, Times Square. We're sort of entering, we're going to be entering at the top of the square, and I'm going to have to make a left turn soon, in fact at the next block, because if I were to stay on this road on Broadway, I would be forced to turn right and turn away from the square at 47th Street. It's sort of a new traffic pattern that our illustrious mayor Bloomberg has sort of decreed. He's a man of many decrees. But anyway, that's another video. So here we are at 48th Street. And we're pretty much right now at the top of the square. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick left and then another quick right onto 7th Avenue. So we'll be at the square again. Okay. We got our light. There are lots of tourists here in August, so I mean there are lots of tourists here all the time, but in August we have a particularly large amount. And right now, there's almost nothing but tourists. I mean, all these people crossing the street, they're tourists. These guys on the bicycles are not tourists because they have their own bikes. But anyway, so here we are. We're on 7th Avenue now. And the tall tower that is directly in front of us, that is the tower where the ball drops on New Year's Eve. That tower is now simply known as One Times Square. It used to be known as the Allied Chemical Building. Before that, it was the New York Times Building. And when the building was originally built, I believe in 1904, this was not known as Times Square. This was known as Longacre Square. But anyway, that's just a piece of trivia. Anyway, this is a much more interesting area to walk rather than drive. But you know, if you're doing a quick tour of the city in a limousine, it's not bad. I have to say that most of the stores and most of the restaurants around here are pretty pathetic. I mean, you can go to Starbucks. Interesting New York City Police Department. I wish I could have moved the camera, but the New York City Police Department has a sort of an office or a station there in neon lights, you know, just like the whole Broadway theme. But anyway, that's basically it. We're down at 41st Street. Technically, Times Square ends at 42nd Street on its southern border. So now we are in another area of town known as the Garment District. And I think what I'm going to do is turn left here and in the video as soon as we get onto West 38th Street. So once again, this is John the Limo Guy reporting for the Archie Luxury Channel. I hope that this quick tour of Times Square was helpful, and Archie, can't wait to see you in October, and looking forward to showing you the city. This is John out.